back to the Haney Biz Project with host Mark Haney.
All right. Welcome back to the Haney Biz Project, brought to you courtesy of Sun System Technology. I'm Mark Haney, and I am joined by the general manager of the Sacramento River Cats, Chip Maxson. How you doing, Chip?
Mark, I'm banging, buddy. Glad to be here.
I love it. You are at your very best. And I have a question for you because, it's a lot of us, we dream about being pro baseball players or pro football players. But, I mean, the second best thing, or maybe even the best thing, would be being the general manager of a professional sports franchise. What is being the GM of the River Cats like?
That's a great question. Some days I don't know, but it is. It's a lot of fun. Deep down when I was finishing college and wanted to work in sports, it was still that 12-year-old boy inside of me that said, hey, it's cool to go to a ballpark. And so when that opportunity to work for a ball club came and eventually reach a goal of being a general manager, I still remind myself, man, it's pretty cool to walk on the field. It's pretty cool. We were just talking about Pablo Sandoval during the break. It's pretty cool to be down in the dugout next to him, talking to him, hearing some of the other guys, Hunter Pence, when he came through. So there's times I still have to pinch myself and realize I'm working.
Yes, I can only imagine. You decided, you were a ball player yourself, and your journey began with you volunteering for a job, a task within an organization, and that kind of got you recognized. Can you tell us that story?
Yeah, that story was day one of my very first internship with a minor league baseball team, junior year of college. I was the last intern to start because of baseball that summer. So a guy came down and said, hey, I've got a task, but it's not glamorous, it's not fun, so I'm not going to tell you what it is, but who wants to volunteer? And I said, well, I'm the new guy, so I'll go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
It was digging a ditch in June in the Chicago area, so with the humidity, it wasn't glamorous at all, digging a trench to lay some electrical conduit down. But yeah, to your point, our general manager came out that day, started digging the ditch right next to me, told me who he was and thanked me and told me I wouldn't have to do any type of work like that moving forward. So it was a great lesson in stepping up and being a leader on my very first day in minor league baseball.
Yeah, it's that kind of philosophy, I suppose, that's led you through your career. I'd like to maybe flash back into where did you develop those philosophies? We develop a lot of them, I know, on the athletic field, but where else, and including the athletic field, did you develop your banging philosophy, your winning philosophies?
Yeah, as we talked the other day, I think it goes back to how I was raised in a single-parent family. Mom was on welfare, raising 3 boys, and so anytime we had a chance to work, we had to. And so it was just ingrained, hey, you're part of the family, you work to support each other. And so then that carried on to, what do you do with high school and grades and opportunities to get scholarships? So there wasn't an opportunity to slack off. So that certainly propelled me as I started into my career. And then I was looking for opportunities, to step up, to stand out. I was absolutely blessed when I was in Frisco, Texas, northern suburb of Dallas, to work with a group of guys that are running NFL franchises, NBA franchises, working in league offices throughout sports. And I quickly learned there, you have a choice to make. You can hang out with some of your peers who just are happy to be there, or you can hang out with the leaders. You can surround yourself with people that'll make you better, that'll challenge you. And that's what I chose to do at that point. And those guys today continue to be mentors, to be friends, to hold me accountable and check in to make sure I'm doing things to better my staff as well.
You told me the other day that you like the quote, A players attract A players. It sounds like that's what happened in those earlier years, as you got you got on a team with A players, and each of you has gone on to great careers. And how has that philosophy transferred to your role at the River Cats?
Yeah, I stole that line from Steve Jobs. Talent attracts.
You got to steal it from somebody. It might be Steve's fine.
Not a bad guy. Pretty smart. But a talent attracts a talent. And I also look at the Olympics. We talked about Justin and I both have wives that are very talented marathon runners. And so when I'm watching the Olympics every 4 years, new records are set all the time. And how does that happen? When you have the best competing against the best, it brings you to a new level. And so that's what we try and do here in Sacramento with the River Cats. I want to make sure that we're finding the best possible talent that we can get. We're bringing them in together and creating, when we're talking about building a team, creating a team that does want to learn, they want to listen, they want to surround themselves with the best. And then the synergy takes over, and we start moving in a good direction.
It's interesting when we come into a new position. You've been with the River Cats about 5 years, is that
Yeah,
right?
yep.
And so you come in, and obviously the River Cats are a beloved team here in Sacramento, but you had to make some tough changes.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, man, culture manages more than managers do. And I love that quote, and I tell that to my leadership team all the time. And again, I'll talk more about leadership than management, because I think that's so much more important. The Sacramento River Cats have been so successful for so long. And this is the 5th minor league team I've worked with. Everybody else looks up to Sacramento. So when I came here, I had this idea that, hey, everything would be great. I just get to take over and try and make a few tweaks and tinker here and there. But the culture was bad, and we had to make some very tough decisions. There were people that had been around for a long time. There were some new people. Tried to bring new people into a culture, and I made the mistake of thinking, I'm a great leader, and they're going to want to follow me no matter what the culture says.
Well, you are a great leader. Didn't work?
No, it didn't work at all. Not good enough. So the reality was we had to really burn down the barn and get rid of some rats in a way. And from our sales and marketing team, there's 3 people left from when I started, but we've got some awesome leaders in place now, and guys and gals, and I'm excited to work with them to help them continue to progress with their career, hopefully with the River Cats, but if not, then it's my job to help them progress somewhere else too.
Yeah, you were talking earlier about somebody that you helped, who you had invested into your time. It had been a successful contributing member of the River Cats team, and you went out and helped them to advance their career with another organization. Why?
Yeah, that's my promise to our staff, and sometimes it hurts, but if you take that approach that you're going to develop leaders and develop people, they're going to be extremely loyal to you. And so instead of the fear of what's going to happen, and if I'm actually do want to look for a job, will Chip fire me if he finds out, I want to flip it. I want them to tell me about their goals, and I want to try and help them achieve those. It's not easy giving somebody on your staff, giving their name to a recruiter. But at the same time, when they know you're doing that, your staff knows, they're so loyal to you, and they're going to run through a wall, and they're going to help develop people underneath them as well.
And I'm thinking about the organization of the River Cats. There's so many facets. Obviously, you've got the team, and I'm not sure of the structure, but I know that it's teams working with teams. So allowing these teams to work independently, but still helping one another, where you have them working interdependently, so everything doesn't run back up to Chip with every small decision. How do you put these teams together so they work interdependently?
That starts at the top, and I'll give Susan Savage credit as our owner. When her husband passed away and she took over, she got advice: don't try and do it all. Let your managers manage. Make sure people go through the chain of command. And we still continue that. And that's one of the toughest things for me, is when I know of a situation, to not go directly to what's happening, to not bypass my leaders, my managers, and go directly and handle the situation, but to trust them, to empower them to make the decisions, to talk through decision making with them, and to evaluate afterwards. And it's hard, but again, I give Susan credit. She's really the one that pushed me and has forced me to really embrace that concept as well. And again, people respond to that when you give them the opportunities, the empowerment.
Yeah, it's all about leadership, and I think in building teams, trust is one of the key ingredients that goes into, building a winning team, building a championship team. We're going to ask Chip to stick around, and when we come back from the break, we will talk a little bit more about the River Cats and what he is building and what professional sports franchises mean to the Sacramento region. Join the revolution at HaneyBiz.com, courtesy of Audi Rockland. This is the Haney Biz Project.
Welcome back to Mark Haney, igniting the entrepreneurial revolution with the Haney Biz Project.
Welcome back to the Haney Biz Project, brought to you courtesy of Hub International. I'm Mark Haney, and I am rejoined by the general manager of the Sacramento River Cats, Chip Maxson. Chip, we've been talking about the River Cats. You brought up ownership. Talk to us about the ownership in a little bit more detail with the Sacramento River Cats. It's a great team, right?
Yeah, it's a fantastic team and great owners here. And what really attracted me to this opportunity in Sacramento 5 years ago was Jeff and Susan Savage, the ownership, the vision that they had. And I think that vision's so important. I once had a gentleman in this room tell me that, vision's great, but it's important to let people know where you're at along that process. And so we've really tried to take that to heart and share that with our staff. And that's exactly what Jeff and Susan did with me a few years ago. They talked about, here's who the River Cats are, here's where they were, here's the direction that we're going, and here's where we're at right now. And that helped me understand my place and my role with the organization and what my job was to help continue to move us along. I think the worst thing about minor league baseball is our name, minor league. People think less. So that puts a little chip on my shoulder, a chip on chip, if you will, where we want to make sure that we're doing things bigger, better, above and beyond what other teams are doing. We want to compare ourselves to some of the big league teams too. And so the importance of ownership is giving you an opportunity to explore some of those areas, try new things, and really take a holistic approach to what a sports team is. It's more than just baseball on a field. It's family-friendly entertainment. We were talking about that at the break. It's fun, it's safe, but then it's a place that can bring the community together and really can give back and bless the community as well.
And tell me more about the holistic approach. Can you define what that is in baseball?
Yeah, in baseball, it can be a lot of things to a lot of people. For us here with the River Cats, it's thinking beyond Sacramento River Cats baseball. It's thinking more about Rayleigh Field, but then outside of Rayleigh Field as well, in the West Sac community, the greater Sacramento area, there's a development side. What's going to be built around the ballpark? The Bridge District, West Sacramento is doing a great job developing the Bridge District. There's plans to bring some mixed-use stuff in around the ballpark. That's going to be key to our future, to entertainment when people come out. People like that urban setting. They like mixed use. They don't want to go far for their entertainment. And so the more we can bring around the ballpark, the better off that we can be. On our front, it's also, we only have 71 ball games. So what are you doing the rest of the year?
Good point,
We talked about, we've done a great job doing some Mexican League soccer games. We've done great jobs with concert. Had one this spring, looking at a potential concert this fall. Keeping the facility busy year-round. That's a holistic approach and something we have to do.
Well, you are an anchor there in West Sac along the river, and there's so much growth that is happening on your side of the river, but it's beginning to happen on the other side as well, with keeping the Kings here, and then just today they've announced they're starting to move dirt around over there at the rail yards. What do you envision for that entire region?
Yeah, the vision's great, and I continue to see the development similar to cities like Charlotte. You look at Austin and what they're doing. You look at Portland's emergence over the last few years. These are some similar markets, and why can't Sacramento do the same thing? Why can't we have a strong downtown core? We don't let the river divide us. We play on both sides. We work, we live on both sides. Become really a greater region, GSAC. It's the vision there. And how can we bring it all together? So that it's exciting to see the rail yards, West Sacramento, downtown, everything that's going on.
You bet. And I think this is an entrepreneurial opportunity in the making. And, as people like the Savages and the Kevin Nagels of the world and the Warren Smiths and the Viveks, the people that have invested into these major properties, it makes huge opportunity for the rest of us small business guys. So, we got to tip our hats to these people that are putting their money out there and making these investments.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic, and it's something that is, as we look at the future, how can we continue to diversify? We're relying on some other people too to bring some of these new projects into West Sacramento along the river there. And again, the city's been great to work with. Some of the people you talked about, guys like yourself on the small business front, we need that too. We need them to come in and start up cool, exciting businesses that people want to participate and interact with.
You bet. Now, I want to jump back into Chip Maxson on the personal side. We talk about A players, attracting A players. And your wife is an A player. Allison is what A+. She's a world-class athlete. And who attracted who in that scenario?
She says she ignored me for a few months, but I finally chased her down. Yeah, she ran in the Olympic trials a couple years ago down in L.A. for the marathon. Very talented runner. She was 10th in 2014, 10th U.S. woman at the Chicago Marathon. So extremely talented there. And yeah, day one when I saw her, I said, I got to get to know this girl. There's something special about her.
Well, Justin Booth, our next guest, his wife is also a serious marathon runner, and I know you both help your wives to train in their specific areas. What do you do to help your wife train again? I know you have a program that you work out with her.
Yeah, I make sure she's eating pizza and drinking wine with me at the end of the night. But no, it's funny. She'll go out and run, and Justin, we were just talking about this too. We'll start with our wives. We'll get them up in the morning and get started on a run. We'll run our 3 or 4 miles. They'll finish with 14. But then the other day, my wife had me out in the track where she was doing 1,000-meter repeats, running the 1,000 meters at a sub-6 minute pace. Then she would have me finish the last 200 meters with her.
That last 200 meters. You're fresh. Again, you've had your Starbucks or whatever, and now you go run the last little bit, huh?
Easy for me. Pushes her, and yeah, I always have to make sure that she beats me, and that's not hard for her to do.
Yeah. Let her beat you on that last 200 meters. Look, any closing thoughts for entrepreneurs in Sacramento as they think about building their teams and working on a culture the way you've done it there with the River Cats?
Yeah, I'd say, hey, I'll do a shameless plug of come join us. We've got some great business memberships that we've created with year-round opportunities specifically for the business person to network, and especially that small business person. It could be obviously it could be games during the season, but then we do some great events in the off season under the lights. Cool event on the field. We do some partner wine tasting events that we like bringing people together. It's all about networking, getting to know each other, and selfishly for us, it helps us grow our brand. The more we can interact, the more people we get involved, buying into the ticket side, the suite side, the partnership side, the more fun things that we can do as well. So give me a call and let's talk River Cats opportunities.
Help build your team, help build your culture by going down to Raley Field, hanging out with Chip Maxson, the Sacramento River Cats. That's how you do it here in Sacramento. When we return, we're going to be talking to Justin Booth, the president and founder. He's not the founder. He's a man that recently bought, just a few years ago, a restaurant supply company, Crown Distributing. Join the revolution at HaneyBiz.com, courtesy of the Entrepreneurs Organization of Sacramento and law firm Greenberg Traurig. This is the Haney Biz Project.